they didn't find her body until 8 o'clock the next morning. They found her face down, floating, and she'd had her nightgown on and a coat.
Murders, mysteries, unexplained stories, and our family's crazy opinions on them all. Join us now. The Family School of Thought is in session.
Hey, everybody. Welcome one more time to the Family School of Thought. How's everybody doing today?
Good.
Good. Weather is a little chilly in Portland, I hear.
Yep. It's cold. Well, it's cold for us. I'm sure you guys wouldn't consider it cold.
Right. It was pretty warm out today. A little rainy for a minute, but it was warm. But the weather just keeps going. One day it's 70, one day it's 30. One day it's 70, one 30. So
then we wake up to freezing in the morning, and so
Right.
It's cold. Takes forever for it to warm up. So it's about an hour of nice warm weather.
Right. How about you, Jess? How's the weather there?
I'm really cold right now, so.
Okay.
But
It's dropping.
we played outside and flew a new plane and had a good time.
Awesome.
Did you go for a bike ride? We went for a bike ride.
No.
Oh, it says it's still 64 degrees, but I don't believe that.
Okay. I know you guys are in a rush, so let's get started. Jesse, why don't you give us some history facts?
I have one today. But hey, I also yesterday we I guess for our listeners, we recorded
Our
2
last
days in a row.
episode.
Yep. So April 19th, we recorded, and it was the anniversary of the Oklahoma City bombing and the anniversary of Waco, Texas, which is connected to the Oklahoma City bombing.
Mm-hmm.
But today, April 20th, the day that we're recording, is the anniversary of Combine. The first, I don't know if it's the first, I guess, but the first.
Not really the first, but
it's the first
most
major
well-known
school shooting.
April is a very busy, complicated month.
Yes, and that's kind of what I taught. And then I didn't do my homework from our last recording to now, so I didn't get all this stuff. But you think about it, the Titanic sank in April. Then we have all the Columbine, Waco, and Oklahoma City, the Boston Marathon massacre. There's a lot of stuff, and goes back to 1776 with our country having, going into battle. So, yeah,
This month has been a very crazy, hectic, off the wall month, and next year we're not going to be taking our vacation in April. We're going to stick to March because it's been.
Oh, you're just talking about this year. Yeah, it's been crazy this year.
This year April has been total chaos,
mm-hmm.
and just everywhere. I mean, just work, outside work, driving,
mm-hmm.
Talking to people. It's just been a total chaos. News, things going on in the news, and.
Mm-hmm.
It's been crazy. So maybe there is something about the month of April.
Something about April. I don't know. It's ruled by Aries. That's what I said on our last recording.
Yeah, I never really got into the zodiacs and the astral.
Astrological.
Cassie and Jesse have always been into astrology.
Maybe I should look into that more, but
we're Libras, so we're just we go with the flow. We're level.
Not all of us are Libras, and no, Libras are very indecisive.
Well, I know, but your dad and I are, so we.
Nope, Dad is not a Libra.
Yeah, I am.
He is.
Mm-hmm.
I'm a Libra.
Yeah, he is. Dad is a Libra.
Virgo.
No, Dad and I are both Libras.
Nope, you and Odin are Virgos.
Yes.
I think of myself as a very balanced person. Like I can get really mad about something, but I can have the complete opposite reaction later. So I try to keep things in balance.
That's news to me.
Your mother is not. She's not balanced.
Because I'm more, I think the next one, Sagittarius.
I'm very close to being a Virgo, and you're very close to being a
Libra is not next to Sagittarius.
Okay, which one is the one next? I mean, the one after Libra. It starts with the S. You're Sagittarius.
Nope. I'm a
No.
Capricorn.
Capricorn. And
I'm on the cusp, so it
yes,
could be-
that's how I think I am with Libra, with me. I'm
Yeah,
at the
Jack,
very tail end.
Are you a Virgo or are you a Libra?
Cassie's a
I'm a
Virgo.
Virgo.
Yes, he's a
That's why I
Virgo.
thought you were a Virgo.
I'm a
No.
Libra.
And
But
it's
I'm right on the
Dad.
cusp.
Dad, you're on the cusp because
Yeah.
Odin's a Virgo. Mhm.
Right. That's why. Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay.
Wow.
There's a 5-day difference.
I am on the cusp then because I'm
Yeah.
close to this.
You're on
Okay.
the beginning cuff, and I'm at the end of the cuff.
I
Yeah.
need to study that more because
Yeah.
it's interesting, but it's very complicated. When I hear people talking online about it, and I'm like, wow, that's way too complicated for me to follow.
Well, a lot of times when I
They
would
say
read,
your house is in the moon and the sun and the
Yeah.
all-
It all
You're
that's
right.
just like with like literally the day of the year, the like time you were born. It's like really you can get really detailed.
yeah.
when I would read the newspaper, I'd always read the horoscopes, and I would read Libra, and
I wouldn't believe
I
that.
thought it was Sagittarius that would come after Libra.
No, it's Scorpio.
Scorpio.
Oh,
Yep.
Scorpio. Well, I don't.
Okay.
I would read both of them.
Jess, how about you tell us your
Okay. So yeah, back on track.
Wait, that wasn't the fact.
we're just a little bit off on that.
Okay.
So I only have one history, unexplained mysteries fact. This one is the marching octopuses. So I don't remember this, but it happened in October 2017. A recreational dolphin watching group in Wales. This is maybe why I don't know anything about it.
Wait, did you not tell us this yesterday?
No.
Then I
I
heard
told
this
you.
story.
It
Then I heard
was
this
Edgar
story on the
Allan
news
Poe
this
and Mona Lisa.
Yeah.
Okay. I heard the story this morning on the radio then.
Okay, well, okay.
Don't spoil it for anybody.
Right.
In
Let her tell us.
October 2017, a recreational dolphin watching group in Wales discovered something very bizarre. They found 20 to 30 octopuses crawling on the land, some as far as 30 feet inland. And to help the animals, the group brought them back to the water. And when the watchers returned the next morning, they found that more octopuses had climbed back onto the beach and subsequently had died. Strangely, the octopuses showed no sign that they had been attacked or injured. Scientists debate on the cause of this peculiar behavior, but a leading theory is that it was overpopulation that forced the octopuses to come ashore, while others believe that they could just be coming to shore as a form of deliberate suicide. Some marine biologists place the blame on environmental change in the area. Despite a wealth of theories, however, no concrete explanation has ever been agreed upon for the animal's behavior. So, but it's kind of, I don't remember. Don't you remember when all those birds died here in the state?
Yeah.
I can't remember
Yeah.
what state it was, but it was, I feel like it was around that same time, like,
No, it was like probably like 2-3 years ago.
oh, I don't remember.
I think it was like mid 2021, maybe.
Oh, yeah, maybe you're
Because
right.
I know it was after
Yeah.
COVID. I know for sure it was after
Okay.
COVID because everyone's like plague and pestilence and all that.
That brings up a very good question. Other than humans, do animals commit suicide?
Yeah.
Yeah, I would think so.
There is actually, I'll have to see.
Guess what? Also, animals have abortions. They just do it
Mhm.
themselves. I mean, how often do you hear about, the mom
Don't
ate
tell
the
Mike
baby?
Pence about that.
Yeah.
There is a bridge in, I want to say Ireland or Scotland, where it is literally famously known for like dogs just randomly jumping off of it.
Yeah, I
What?
heard about that too. Yeah.
Yeah, they just jump to their death.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I've heard that too.
In
So
Ireland.
there you go. It was Ireland, Scotland. I don't know. I don't have the research here in front of me, but
Must be
they do
spooky.
commit suicide.
Yep. I think so too. And yeah, they eat their own babies, which I would think is, like a late term abortion.
Yeah.
And there are some species out there that the males carry the babies, not the
Mhm.
females. So
Yes.
there you go.
Well, there's a thing.
And there's non-binary animals too.
Well, I know the seahorses, males.
I'm saying, yeah, the seahorses, males are the ones that carry the babies.
Right.
But all this
Interesting.
debate, it's all nature that has been going
Mhm.
on with other species for years.
I agree, Jeff.
That's all I have, though. There you
All
go.
right.
Very
The
interesting. I'm gonna have to
suicidal
do some
octopuses.
research this
And
week.
Jess and Cassie's going to get us a good song.
What song you got for us, Cass?
Well, I've got another stalker song, but
Oh, come on.
You're a little stuck
this
on that.
this one's a lady, so it's a little bit different, sort of.
Oh, us
Not really.
women stalking a man?
No. So this is the song "Possession" by Sarah McLachlan. This came out in about 1994, so it's
Hey.
almost 30 years old.
It is.
Might not know it. But so this song is famously written Sarah wrote this, and she was inspired by letters she had received from her own stalkers.
Wow.
So the lyrics in the song are from letters that she had received from stalkers, to a point where she said that she has claimed that there was many different letters, but one obsessive fan, shortly after the song was released in 1994, actually tried to sue her for copyright infringement. And it probably would have gone through court, but he actually committed suicide. So the
What?
case never went through. So
Okay, is this the song they play with on that commercial for the dogs that are?
yes, in the arms of the angel. Yes, this is the ASPCA
Wow.
commercial
And so
song.
why did he commit suicide?
It doesn't really say. Probably just because he was
It was
getting a
in
lot
the
of
works.
flack.
It was written.
You're
Definitely.
making stuff. What, Jess?
I said I was muted. Sorry. We need to put in that was our sarcastic response. It is not the animal rescue.
Yes,
song.
yes, I'm sorry. We're being sarcastic. This is not. That song is in the arms of the angels, not the ASPCA. This one is an earlier work from Sarah McLachlan. Oh, actually, this one was released. I'm actually looking at it right now. This song was released September 10th, 1993, 2 days before I was born.
Wow,
There you go.
the song is older than you.
Oh, by 2 days.
By 2 days.
Well, she's a great artist. I like her.
She is a great artist. But yeah, a lot of people. This song is very much like when you listen to it, it is very much a stalkerish song. It's talking about when I get a hold of you, I'm gonna hold you down tightly and kiss you till you're tired. I'll wipe your tears away. So it's very much a stalker song, and Possession, which is the title of it. But yeah, this was inspired by real life letters Sarah McLachlan had gotten from obsessive fans.
Huh. Interesting. Interesting.
That is very interesting.
There you go. Pretty creepy though, I think.
That is very creepy. And if somebody's going to write letters to somebody, it's they're.
I think that's what the court case probably would have went through, but at the same time, you're basically putting yourself in front of the law saying I sent this letter to somebody and
Right,
having to admit that you sent an obsessive letter,
Right,
a threatening obsessive letter.
Yeah. Anybody that would write that kind of a letter to somebody that they have no idea who they are should go to jail.
Yeah.
Because that's pretty scary.
Yeah, and I don't know if it was this guy particularly, but she said in interviews, a lot of the letters she would receive basically made it seem like they believed that they were already in a relationship with her. Like they would say oh, we'll go out tomorrow night, or the last time I saw you, kind of stuff like that. So,
oh wow,
yeah, just creepy, just for the background information of this song, I think. But also, good for her to write this song and basically call out that kind of behavior.
Yeah. mean, it proves that there are crazy people in this world.
And this was in 1994. I can't imagine what it's like today, where we have, influencers of all kinds, people who just literally TikTok probably have obsessive fans.
Right. Crazy.
But, yeah, that's all I got.
I was just saying today, our world has become a crazy, crazy world. I don't know what we're going to do in another 5 years because it's already so bad. It's terrible. It's terrible.
Yeah.
It's definitely.
It is. It's getting crazier by the day. What's it going to be next?
Well, I think Gen Z and Gen Alpha are going to clean things up.
Yes, I agree with you.
The next couple generations, like generations under me, and then like older.
Yeah, the Gen Z is they're like early 20s and teenage. Odin is Gen Alpha through like teenage years, but they're the ones that are doing all the protests right now. They're the ones walking out of school. They're going to the capitals and doing the protests at the capitals, and especially the one down in Tennessee.
Right.
It was all
I think it's
Gen Alpha.
Yeah, well, I think it's, a lot of people criticize how big social media is right now, but I don't think it would be like this if kids today weren't able to basically like get online and see that other people are doing this. Other countries are doing this, and they're seeing
you're finding
reactions.
A voice. Yeah, you're
finding. Yeah, exactly. Like they're saying that not only they are doing this.
Right. Like my thought isn't the odd thought. It's
right.
General thought. It's just the minority in my area, whatever,
Right.
So, yeah, people are finding that there's others out there that are willing to support them.
Right, and fight for it.
I mean, there's good and bad with social media. Definitely.
I mean, I do agree, but I mean, I think there's some.
I think
really
the bad
helpful
is more from the older generations that make it bad.
Yeah.
So.
I hope something comes because boy, it scares me to watch Odin.
Well, you got to think about who is the most open-minded generations, because it's the younger generations. They're more accepting to people of all types and all shapes and sizes, and it's the older generations that are stuck in their own ways and stuck with traditions and not willing to accept anything different than what they know. And that's what's causing problems. Because it's not fair that somebody else is getting the same equal treatment as what they're used to. Because that's not how it was when I was younger. We didn't do it that way. We've done it like this for 30 years. Well, sometimes changes are needed.
Mm-hmm.
Well, yeah, change is good, but
again, we're off topic.
Okay, you guys. I have a little bit of a problem here because I cannot find any of my notes off of my story.
Oh,
I had it last night because I showed them to your mother. But anyways, I'm gonna wing it. So you guys can step in and help me out if I mess up. Okay.
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 Yeah.
I'm sure. I don't know if you guys have ever heard of Natalie Wood.
Yes.
Actor.
Huh?
I haven't.
Actress, I should say. Actor.
Okay. I was like, wow, really?
She played.
Who is she?
Yeah.
Is she your neighbor?
Are you guys
I wish.
I'm done. Okay.
Justice for Natalie. Screw Christopher Wood. Or Christopher, what's his name? Christopher Walken.
Oh, what are your theories about her? Do you have any theories?
Well, I'll tell the story and then I'll give you my theories.
Okay, for the people who don't know, she died in November 29th, 1981. And she was a big, huge movie star. And she started acting at 5 years old. And when she was 8, she played the little girl on the Miracle on 34th Street.
Mm-hmm.
And then she played in a lot of lot of movies when she was a teenager. Rebel Without a Cause. She played in the Searcher.
Come on, you know the one. It's West Side Story. Come on.
Cassie and
You said
Jesse
you
are
wanted
so
her
excited
help.
about that one.
Yeah.
That's their movie.
She played in West Side Story. She played in Gypsy. She had a string of really large movies, and she played in Bob, Carol, Ted, and Alice. You guys know that movie?
Mhm.
Okay. Anyways, so in November of 29th of 1981, she was out on her yacht with her husband. Do you guys know who her husband was?
Robert Wagner.
Robert Wagner. And she had been married. She had married him when she was 19. And then they were only married for 10 months. And then she got married to another guy that she had a daughter with. And she had another marriage. And but then she remarried Robert Wagner. And they were married, I think, about 12 or 13 years. And they had a daughter. But her marriage was not going well at the time of her death. And she had actually even told some people that she was going to be leaving him for somebody else at the time. But sure, and the night of in the middle of the night, she went on a boat. They had a yacht with her husband and her and Christopher Walken and another actor. They all went on this boat together to spend the night. And there was a lot of drinking and partying, and they had gotten into a huge fight, her and her husband. And so she went to bed. And actually, Christopher Walken and him were up late, even arguing even more, because it's questionable what they were arguing about. But a lot of people feel like she was having an affair with Christopher, or even rumors that he was having. Something's going on here. Are you guys there?
Yeah.
My computer just went dead. He was having an affair with Christopher Walken. That's even a theory. Mm-hmm. So, anyways, but she somehow come up missing at 1:30 at night. He went to give her a goodnight kiss, and she wasn't there. And so of course, they looked over the boat and she wasn't there. But the odd thing is they didn't find her body until 8 o'clock the next morning. And they found her face down, floating. And she'd had her nightgown on and a coat and some boots. And the odd thing was right away, because I remember this happening too, was that people questioned if this story that she just fell off the boat or was she trying to get away from the boat. But her sister, like right away back in 1981, said there is no way. She was deathly afraid of water. She did not know how to swim. Mm-hmm. And when she was a little girl, her mother went to a psychic that told her that Natalie would drown in water. So her entire life, she was protected, about don't go in the water. And so she goes, there's no way that supposedly she got mad at them and she was going to take this little rubber dinghy and go to land. They surmise this is what happened. Nobody really knows, but the dinghy was missing too. And so the theory was that she got in this dinghy thinking she's going to go to land, but it overturned or something happened and she drowned. So there was a lot of questions and theories about Robert Wagner right away, but it went through an investigation and they just found that she, drowned. And that's the way it was for many, many years. But then I think in 2013, they decided to reopen this case. Her sister kept out this whole time. And actually, Robert Wagner is now a suspect. He hasn't been charged with anything, but he's a suspect in possible, because now they changed her death certificate. It doesn't just say drowning. This is drowning or potential
suspicious.
suspicious causes. Yeah.
Mhm.
Sorry, I lost all my notes, but so who knows what really happened? And the captain of the boat, years later, came forward and said that Robert Wagner refused to let him put on lights around the boat at 1:30 when they decided she's missing. Refused to call anybody, any authorities or and put on any lights to try to find her. He really just didn't care. She was missing. Now, possibly he thought, okay, the dinghy's missing. She just went on a dinghy to land, and she'll come back tomorrow. Who knows? But he wouldn't search for her, go after her. So, but of course, he waited till many years later, and that reopened the case. So that's why he is suspect now.
Mm-hmm.
He got remarried very soon afterwards to I can't think of her name now, but they had a heart-to-heart show was the name of it, and so he got married soon after that. So, but she was a phenomenal actress, and she was in the middle of making a movie with Christopher Walken, and the other guy that came with him, he was out of this movie too. Somehow he was in this movie. So it was Natalie and her husband, and this Christopher Walken, and this other guy came for the day, but he didn't stay the night. So there was also rumors that she was having an affair with that guy too. So, but she was a great actress. She made a lot of movies. I don't know if you've seen Splendor in the Grass, but she was working on Brainstorm at the time of her death, and it was pretty much made. They didn't release the movie after she was dead, so they must have had enough film to release the movie on it. But well, that's my story. I told you it'd be nice and short.
Wow.
I was reading up too on this because you lost your notes. So she went missing around like you said 1:30, but then here this is the Los Angeles Times news article that was just published in 2021, November of 21. But they said, so Roger Smith, the LA County rescue boat captain who helped pull her body out of the water, said he didn't receive a call to start looking for her until after 5 a.m. So there was 3.5, 4 hour difference of waiting for she was, and then she was found like a mile away from the boat.
Yeah. Well, and so, Robert said he didn't want to turn on the lights, like refused to turn on the lights. Yeah. And he claims because he didn't actually think she was, drowning. But there has been multiple witnesses, and at least 2 have come forward that said that they heard a woman screaming for help, and they were like literally in the area that they were in. So they would have heard her scream, and they would have known. Even if she was in the dinghy, like they should have turned on the lights and figured out something.
Right. That's a good point. One, she was found a mile away, so it wasn't like they.
Right. And she wasn't that far.
But I did kind of wonder, like, when people heard her screaming for help, why didn't they try to?
Why did they not call water rest, the DNR or DNA?
Their response to that was that there was a lot of partying going on, and they just thought it was people screaming and howling from the party and stuff. But still, if somebody's calling for help, you think somebody would, look into that, but nobody did.
Yeah. Wow. Yeah, that's kind of I mean, yeah, I've heard this story too, but like in the LA Times, it said that the coroner's office said like her last meal was around midnight, which is about the time that the time of her death.
Mm-hmm.
So she was dead for an hour and a half before she went missing.
I mean, that
could be reading that wrong too. So
yeah.
Well, I mean, that could also be like 1:30 is the time that they started looking for her, kind of thing. Like you got to remember they're on a yacht, so
yeah,
and it's middle of the night. They probably think she's in her bed.
boat. Yeah,
They
it's
did.
pretty
They had a big argument in the captain of this boat, and actually all of them, even in, at the time, he said everything was going fine. It was going, but later in years, he said no, we were in a huge argument.
Yeah.
And that
Well, that's because it
she
came out
left-
that she had bruises all over her,
And-
like, and so he had to basically say, like, yeah, we were in a fight.
Yeah,
Right.
there was bruises on her. I was just reading that too. There's bruises on her arms and scrapes on her knees, and then she had a laceration on her like face.
That
So
was
prior
confirmed to be before she was in the water.
post-mortem. Yeah.
Right,
So
right.
that's something too. Like maybe they got into a physical altercation, and so then he's like, well, screw her. But because that's something too, like between midnight and 1:30, like why didn't he notice her missing before that? But
well, he says they got into a big fight, and she went to bed, and then him and Christopher Walken continued fighting about something. But at 1:30, he decides to go to bed and went to like give her a kiss goodnight, and she was gone then. So, but don't turn on the lights or
Yeah.
I know. Don't look for her.
Yeah.
Here's the thing. I think it was an accident. I just think that they all freaked out and tried to hide the fact that I think they were in this altercation, and he accidentally like shoved her, whatever, or she tripped, whatever, and she fell over. He knew she fell over, and he was freaking out, and he was just like, "We got to cover this whole thing up."
Yeah. Right.
I mean, and I can see her like they're in a big fight, and she gets on this dinghy. I'm going back to land,
Yeah.
And they're like,
Okay,
okay,
even that.
and then not even thinking that she was going to drown, and then she drowns, and then we're like, oh shit, we just let her do that, that. But her sister was very, very, and I remember this at the time. Like, there's no way she did that because she was definitely afraid of water, and she, she didn't know how to swim, and her whole life, her mother had scared her about drowning because the psychic had told her that. And so she goes, there's no way that in 1:30 in the morning, she's going to get on a dinghy and go back to land, without a life preserver. She didn't even have a life preserver on. So,
I don't think she would have gotten
somebody that's paranoid of water is going to wear a life jacket.
Right.
Yeah,
But
you would think that, but if they're partying and if there's drugs and alcohol involved and stuff,
yeah,
people make bad decisions.
But then again, if she was that paranoid of water, like, why did they have a boat? They got, like.
Well, I think it's come out that like she hated that boat, like, and even she didn't even want to get on that boat that night.
Right.
Like, she told people, like, I don't even want to get on this boat tonight. Like, I don't really want to do it. But Robert was like, "You're getting on the boat. Like, get on the boat."
Yeah, it was called The Splendor because of her movie. Press.
I didn't realize this. So her sister Lana wrote a whole book about Natalie's life and her death, and she alleges that actor Kirk Douglas like violently raped her. I didn't know that.
Yeah, there was. Yeah,
Kirk Douglas. He's like a huge actor. Like, if you've seen any Stanley Kubrick movie, he's like in like most of them.
Yeah,
that's insane.
Before she died, she told that she had been violently raped.
Right.
To the point where she had to go to the hospital, and
Yeah.
But she never named the person, but her sister now has named it. But she said it was a huge, major movie. So, I
did not know. I knew about her, like her saying that she had been raped, but I didn't realize they actually named the person.
Right. Right. Well, it's her sister though naming that. And,
right.
But yeah.
Wow.
She had a lot of. I mean, she had a great life, but she had a lot of tragedy in her life.
Yeah.
Anyways, I really liked her. I remember when she died, and it was a big deal. It was a big deal. That was before every little thing in life was a big deal.
Right.
So
because it was so mysterious, and it's these huge socialites.
Right.
Things like these are not so. Things like this are not supposed to happen to prestigious people.
Right. And because of just like all the other, Kennedy and stuff, the story just never went away because we just never
Right.
knew how it happened. Yeah. And it was always been a mysterious thing. I didn't know that you guys knew her that well. I thought you probably heard of her, but
They watched, how many times did they watch West Side Story?
I don't know about Jess. I watched it a lot, but I don't.
I don't think I watched it a lot. I think I was more into like Wizard of Oz.
Right.
she was not.
I remember
was more
watching
into
West
Grease,
Side
I think,
Story with
than
one
West
of you
Side
girls.
Story.
I
It
remember
was
watching
me.
it.
And I don't remember why I had that DVD, but I remember I literally took it with us. Every time we went up to the cabin, I think I took it with us. And
Yeah,
I
I
watched it
remember
at least
watching
once every
that.
time we went up to the cabin.
I remember watching it with you. And we watched it a lot.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, see, and I
Same with
watched.
Rebel Without a Cause. I have Rebel Without a Cause. Like I must have
I
like
don't
got like
remember-
a. Sometimes like
remember
back in
that.
back in the day, Target and Walmart used to have like
Yes.
packs of
$5.
DVDs that were.
Yeah.
They were like packs of DVDs that were like, oh, the 1970s biggest movies. It was probably like a Natalie Wood box set.
Oh. Good
So I must have got that because I have that. I know I have West Side Story and Rebel Without a Cause for sure. And I'm
Well, she
sure
gave up
East
acting
of Eden,
for-
but that's not her.
I think through the 70s, she didn't really do any acting.
I'm not saying that. I'm saying like I'm like talking about like they used to have
they were
box
just,
sets
like, box sets, yeah.
that were like random movies that they would like combine together.
Right. Right.
And they had like best of. You're right. Like
Right.
Sam's Club had, at least
Yeah.
I know Sam's Club did, but they had like the best of like Drew Barrymore, the best of
Right.
Barry, and it was like a box set of like their
Right.
good movies and stuff.
Mhm. Before streaming services,
Right.
you got box sets.
Before, like who has a DVD player anymore?
Me. I still have one. Not that
I
that's
have one.
not
I-
that that's surprising.
Matt and I were
I have a
talking-
VHS and a DVD.
Okay, well, Matt and I were talking. Odin's dance recital is coming up, and they are getting orders for the DVDs of the recital, and I'm like, I don't want it. I'm not paying the money because one, we don't own a DVD player, but I'm like, and then what are we gonna do with it? But
I still own a DVD player, and I can literally I'm not even getting up out of my seat. I can literally pull out my DVDs.
Yes. We
And
watched-
this is just one of six. This is just one of 6 books that I have.
And you
Actually,
don't think
1, 2, 3, 7.
the only
7
DVDs
books.
that we still have out, I mean, we do have DVDs, they're just in storage downstairs, but the only ones we have out, and actually we just moved them to the basement, is the Harry Potter box set that came in the box. Other
I've
than
got
that,
thousands of CDs that I don't know why I have them anymore.
yeah, we just threw a bunch of CDs away because I don't even have a CD player in my car.
right.
No.
So,
But now I forgot my question. It was more on the topic of what we were talking about. But
again, we're off topic.
we keep losing audio.
Mm.
All right, Ted, stop it. Well,
I'm kidding.
yeah.
I do think she could have survived if they had
If they
taken
would
action.
have actually looked for her, yeah.
Right.
If they would have turned on the lights. And that's
Or like
something
you
too.
said-
I think you're right, Cassie. It wasn't premeditated in any way. It was either a pure accident or like a crime of passion.
Heat of
almost.
emotion. Yeah,
Yeah.
heat of emotion.
That's what I'm
Don't you
thinking.
think
Of.
so?
What happened was that it was a pure accident. She's, he pushed her, she stumbled back, hit her head, whatever, and they put her in the dinghy and let her go. And then the dinghy
Right.
flipped over.
Right.
Well,
Or
I
maybe
think
he
that's
hit
even
her-
why him and Christopher were still fighting, like after,
Right.
like
Because
she supposedly was missing. Is that he knew that they needed to look for her, and Robert was like, "No, we got to cover this up."
Yeah.
Don't you think Christopher Atkins, after all these years, would tell
Walken.
the truth?
Walk-ins.
Walking.
Watkins, yeah, I'm sorry. Watkins would have told the truth because he really didn't
Oh.
have anything to lose.
Well, The thing
No.
though too is he could have signed
NDA.
an NDA. Yeah, I was going to call it an NDR, an NDA. You know, so that's, I mean, that happens a lot where, you know, people know and they're legally not allowed to say.
Yeah.
And he could get sued. But, you
Yeah,
know, that's something too. Maybe we'll find out on his deathbed or, you know, like.
Well, yeah, maybe. I don't know. But yeah, like, that's the thing is that maybe it was an NDA or even like, it doesn't matter when you committed the crime or when you not that he committed the crime, but it doesn't really matter. Like, especially in today with our generations, we don't care how old you are. Like, if you committed a crime, you need to like be punished for it.
Right.
Like, and we're seeing that literally in today's news that like,
Right.
we don't care that you're 88, you killed somebody, like you're gonna serve time.
Yeah. But I do think that you know, I kind of think that it was like a heat of the moment where her husband she fell over, hit her head or whatever, and he thought he killed her. And then like, oh, we're on a boat, and she's really just like went unconscious or whatever, and wasn't dead. And he, you know, just pushed her off the boat. And because how easy is that of a alibi that like, hey, we got into a fight, we're on the boat in the middle of the ocean. Somebody fell overboard. You know what I mean? That's like
I feel like she would have had some signs of like head trauma.
Yeah,
in that case, though,
she did have like a laceration on her face.
Right,
So,
but that's
I agree with you. There was no like contusions or anything like
right.
that.
And her having bruises and stuff doesn't mean he beat her. He could have been trying to keep her in control too, or maybe trying to keep her from jumping off the boat. Or
just because a fight is violent doesn't mean it is abusive. Like it could be like, you know, I mean that is abusive, but like grabbing somebody hard enough to like shake them or, you know, grab them if they're walking away from you.
You know what I mean? There's lots of
I really doubt she would be willing to commit suicide by jumping into water if she was so terrified of it.
I just got this feel. My thing that makes the most logic to me is they're in a huge fight and she's like, I'm done. I'm getting on this dinghy. I know I'm scared of it. I'm doing it though. I'm not staying in this boat another minute. And took off. And those two probably were arguing about, you better go get her. No, she's let her, you know, like I'm done, you know, like nobody thinks she's actually going to drown, you know.
Right. Yeah. And it could be the case.
Right. And then, you know, in the morning they find her body and they're like, oh, shit.
Yeah.
We thought she.
And that could also be like with her having bruises, they were scared that like that they let her go and now they found her dead and they're like, oh, what are they going to think that we did now that she's got bruises and lacerations and all that stuff.
But it could be, I think maybe you're right, Dad. It could be where, you know, her husband is just really stubborn on the aspect of like, no, she chose to go, let her go. We're not turning on the lights. She chose this.
Yeah.
You know, like, I don't care. We'll find her in the morning, you know, she can suffer for the night.
Well, you probably figured she really wouldn't go that far. She'd be back.
Right.
You know?
Well, and that's right.
The only thing I can
for the night.
The only thing, and also I'm thinking like him beating her and drowning her. There's 3 other people on this boat. There's no way they're just going to sit there and let that happen. You know?
Right. Like I don't think it was intentional.
Right.
Like like you said, like the captain is obviously willing to say like he didn't want us to do this. I felt really uncomfortable. He would have said like they were in a very violent. She's screaming, he's yelling, like.
Right.
But don't you think that's odd that this captain of this boat waited all these years? I think he wrote a book actually. Why would he wait all these years to tell this?
Probably another NDA.
Right. And that's
especially the worker like Christopher, like he's a star, but just a regular captain that you pay his bills.
Right.
Fortunately, that NDA is getting signed way before death.
Yeah. Right.
Yeah, but how could he make him sign the paper like that? I'd be like, no, I'm not signing it. I'm going to the police and telling them what happened. No, I'm not signing your paper.
No, but what we're saying, Dad, is that this is his employee. So an NDA was already signed long before anything happened. Like most celebrities, their employees sign an NDA. And an NDA covers everything. An NDA covers anything and everything.
Yeah. And if you do speak up
at that event,
it's legally binding. It is legally binding.
And right. And you got to think too, like if you signed an NDA with somebody, especially a celebrity or a famous person or somebody really wealthy, and then you speak out, well, yeah, they murdered him. Guess what? They could still sue you.
Yeah.
And then you know, like you're worth nothing compared to their millions, and they'll take everything.
Yeah. Unfortunately, that's exactly what could happen.
Right.
I know there's been a lot of discussion on those NDAs recently because like Justin Bieber has had parties where you can't go unless you sign this thing, and people have broken them because of big reasons. They're like, that doesn't mean anything.
Yeah, but that's that's in today's society of social media where you can go in front of like a camera and explain your side of the story. This captain, he probably would have got, like, if he would have come forward and been like, Robert Wagner was abusing his wife and threw her off the boat. Robert, Christopher, all of their people would have been like, no, this captain was really suspicious. We didn't like him from the start.
You are right about that because only a few people are going to hear that story.
Right.
Today, the world's going to hear it. So you can't cover it up. Yeah, you're right about that. Yeah. But
they have the mob literally take care of people who were a problem in that society. So I would be pretty scared to admit what was going on.
It has always amazed me, people that are wealthy and rich and they have everything, and how could you fuck that up? It's like, why would you be like, I'm not doing anything to mess this up. This is a good
because people are greedy, and
I mean, look at the Murdochs.
I know. We just talked about we just talked about a whole family who got in over their head because they thought they were above the law.
Right.
Well,
and most celebrities think they're above the law.
I don't
think the Murdochs, it was a generational thing. It was like one generation after another. So they were better and better. You know what I mean? It was ingrained in them. They're beyond everybody else.
But so are movie stars. So are stars. They come from family. Their family that's been
not even they come from families, like they are on set being told, like, we'll do whatever you need, get whatever you need, tell us what you want, and
we'll do everything that you want. Right. But that's also like we're part of that problem because we buy into it. We see celebrities on the street, we want pictures with them, we want to put them on that pedestal.
Right.
And that's something too that we're starting to see.
And they get away with everything. Get away with drunk driving. If it was me and you, we don't.
They don't really, but they still.
They don't get as hard. They don't get as hard a punishment as a regular.
Money to get better lawyers.
It's
exactly. They can pay.
They can pay for better lawyers.
They probably have lawyers on retention.
Well, they do. But they should not be privileged. They should be just like every other human being.
Okay, so if you saw Julia Roberts walking down the street,
and she,
what would you do?
How would she walk in?
Or if she committed a crime, I would turn her into the police.
Oh, that's a good question. So you're in a store and you see Julia Roberts steal a piece of jewelry. You turn.
I would call 911.
You would say you made a big mistake. Huge.
I was gonna say, Mom is the worst person to ask this question because Mom would be like, Mia, Julia, you can't do that, Julia.
Yeah, I would. You are right.
Oh,
you are right. There is no way that I would allow them to commit that crime. I would say, put that thing back, get it out of your purse, and put it back on that shelf.
Or it's like, hey, do you want to come to lunch with me? And you say, okay.
Well, you just got to put it back in my purse.
You're gonna put that product back on the shelf. Then we'll go to lunch.
Mm-hmm.
I don't think you'd do that to Julia Roberts.
No,
I would. Seen doing that, but not Julia Roberts.
Smack her upside the
Julia
head.
Roberts, she wouldn't do, but Richard Gere, that's a whole different question.
That's
a whole different question.
Or together.
Let me see.
Yeah, you get thinking about it, right?
Uh-huh.
No, I would not think.
Especially
I know
if
you
he was in
wouldn't.
that naval officer uniform. Mom would be like, I don't see anything.
You'd be hauling that stuff out to his car for him.
Okay. Let me put some in here too.
I saw you pick up this, but you put it back down. But I'll take it. Don't worry about it.
Yeah.
I'll be your escort for the night.
Don't say it like that.
I think she meant it like that, to be honest.
You would do that to Richard Gere.
So you'll be a prostitute for one night just for Richard Gere.
No.
Yes,
Okay.
she would.
I wouldn't be a prostitute. I might.
Well, what do you think an escort is?
Well,
It's okay, Mom. Everybody has that.
yeah,
Mhm.
Everybody has somebody.
right.
Yeah, I think that back on topic, but I think they knew she went overboard. I think they were aware.
Right.
Yeah, I think I think that is a fact because
I think all three. Like I think
when
the
you go on
captain.
a boat and
I think the
somebody's-
captain, Christopher, Robert. I think they all knew, and they were just too scared to admit it,
Right.
Yeah.
and so they hid it.
Right.
Yeah,
Maybe.
movie stars do crazy things.
I mean, but if I seen a woman drown, I don't think I'd be too afraid to get the authorities.
Back then, though, like it was such a different game back then.
Right now. I'm like, give me that hand radio. We're calling right now. I'm pretty
It's
sure.
a different game back then. Because I mean, you have to imagine, like they knew, like Christopher and Robert, they weren't like they were kind of at their prime, and so this would have ruined their careers. Like they would have never gotten another part. They would have lost millions. It would have ruined their life, unfortunately, and so they knew they had to cover it up.
Yeah.
Same with the captain. Like he's losing employment if he turns in his boss.
Mm-hmm.
And he probably would never be able to get a job like that again. A high-paying job like that.
I don't know. Like I said, you know, if they would have done something way back when, we wouldn't have had this Me Too moment. You know, things that have happened in today's world, like all the rapes and
Well,
women.
that unfortunately is completely separate from the actual, like her actual death. I was just saying I didn't realize
Yeah, she was.
it was such a big name.
Well, I know, but see,
Such a well-known Hollywood name.
everybody hit that kind of
But
stuff.
that had nothing to do with her death.
No, it didn't have anything to do with her death, but they were covering up her death, and that was allowed.
Yeah.
It's the same thing.
I get what you're saying. I get what you're saying. Like,
entertainment purposes only.
Well,
Yeah.
for entertainment purposes only. This is our opinion, the Robinson opinion.
Again,
Stromer,
we have got
Robinson.
to get a psychic on this show. Every topic, we need a psychic to solve it for us.
I feel like there's definitely been a million psychics that have said that they've contacted Natalie Wood.
Oh, I'm sure.
Yeah.
And what did she say?
Well, we don't know because we
I
don't know
don't
any
know.
psychics that have come forward. No psychic comes
I don't think
forward.
I've ever seen one that seemed legit enough to listen. They probably just, she felt so scared. She felt that the world was closing in on her. She felt so cold, and
Well, the thing with all psychics,
she was confused. Everything seemed
like one believe them
topsy-turvy.
or not, but every one of them say the same thing. You know, that Teresa Kabook, you know,
Yeah.
they all say the same thing. You know, they ask questions to you before they being televised, and it's all stuff that she's.
That's why you should always lie.
Right.
Because if they're really psychics, they should know that you're lying.
Mm-hmm.
Right. And
I've seen
whenever
a lot
I've
of-
gone to a psychic, they want to know they ask me questions so they can tell me the answer that I've just give them. No, you tell me.
Well,
I
I've
don't
seen
want
a
to tell
lot of
you.
that can.
I don't know that I believe that.
We've kind of covered those quite a few times through here, but the red car lady warning me about a red car. Oh, that was
Well,
pretty.
some I do believe, but I don't know. I mean, it's just coincidence. I don't know.
But it does seem like one. I don't think I've ever heard a psychic tell me, or like on a show or anything, say what happened to her. I don't remember it anyhow. And it seems like that Sylvia Brown would have said something.
I feel like most
She was
celebrities.
big right about that time. In that time, that was when.
Yeah.
Mhm.
Well, I
There's
think
some guy who's like a celebrity psychic where he like goes to celebrity houses.
That
Yeah,
Tyler.
I don't know. Yes,
Maybe.
isn't
Tyler.
Is that
that
what it is?
blonde-haired guy?
With blonde hair. Yeah.
Yeah, he's on Netflix right now or something. Or
Now I have seen him. I mean, really, he went to Latoya Jackson's house and he didn't know who she was. I'm like, really, you don't know who Latoya Jackson?
I feel like with him, like
You don't know who Latoya Jackson.
yeah, I know. Who
I
doesn't
feel
know the
like there's a
Jacksons?
lot of
Well,
people-
it's not just about who doesn't, but his personality would state otherwise.
Mhm.
Right.
But I also feel like he said that to people like, "Oh, I don't know anything,"
Right. Then you gotta like say like
Right.
I don't know anything about this.
Yeah, and really with celebrities, I mean, especially with today's technology, you have Wikipedia that gives
Yeah.
you their whole life story that
Yeah.
you can really pinpoint anything, really. So, I don't know. I feel like celebrity psychics are a little bit of a hoax. I think there's people that have a true talent of that, but I think, especially ones that are rich and more well known, they probably started out with like having that raw talent, but now you have to exaggerate, and it kind of like Lorraine and her husband.
Yeah. You have to make
Right.
it bigger.
That's what I was just about to say. There's probably some truth to it, but it's to be that famous and to have that much money, you're giving a lot of advice or psychic visions, which probably aren't true. Like if it is real talent, it's probably a very rare occurrence, and you've got to basically
Who's
fake the rest of it.
Who's the guy? He's probably about my age, maybe a little bit younger. And I think he had a show at one point, but you see him on a lot of stuff. You know what I'm talking about?
No.
He always seems to be pretty right on.
A guy your age that
I was gonna say Chip, but I feel like Dad would get offended if I said Chip.
Yeah, I would.
That's the only guy psychic I know.
No, this guy's younger, and he's younger than me, but not much. He's been around forever.
The only one I can think of is Chip.
Chip
and
who?
he
Who are you
seems
Chip
like
Coffee.
Huh?
Chip Coffee from Paranormal
Yeah.
Investigation.
Paranormal State.
State.
and he doesn't really talk to like psychics. He talks to
Ghosts.
Ghosts and paranormal activity.
No, I believe in psychics. I think there's good ones, bad ones, but
I mean, that's what I'm saying. Like, I do believe that they're there. I just don't think the frequency in which they can
I
use
also feel
that
like, I mean,
is real.
if you have the talent, you definitely want to like gain from it. But I also feel like if you're paying to see a psychic, you're paying them for a service. They're going to exaggerate, or they're not going to give you the real information.
Well, I can see like if they're on TV, it needs to be bigger than life, or you wouldn't watch it. You know what I mean?
Right. So I don't know.
I'm going to get a psychic to get on our show.
Okay.
You've been saying that since the beginning, so if you're a psychic watching this episode,
question.
Yeah.
after-
Email us at thefamilyschoolofthought@gmail.com and we can have you on the show.
You could be our special guest.
Where
We'll
are
have to
the
vet you,
need
but we're
some
obviously not really good at telling what's real and what's not. So you probably will be on the show.
Oh,
You got the job.
You got the job.
oh golly. We might just scare them all away.
That's true.
Maybe.
I'm having a vision that I need to get out of here.
I have a vision this family is crazy.
like, how many viewers do you guys have?
Yeah.
What?
No. I think we should get one. I'm gonna find one.
Okay.
Okay. They could be our special guest. See if they want a recurring role.
Mm-hmm.
I think we should just have somebody that's available anytime we get stuck on something. We're like, let's
We can
call
phone a
them.
friend.
So,
I don't know. Can I phone a friend?
Well, if they're psychic, they should already know that we're about to call them. And so
That's right.
they'll already join.
it's ringing in the brain.
Every Thursday,
The Robinson Strollers need help. Oh golly.
That'd be fun.
Yes, that would be
Mhm.
fun.
It would be interesting.
She'd probably pick at us all because we're so crazy.
Why are you calling it the person
Yeah,
a she?
who knows?
Could be a he. Could be a they.
Are they?
I've never seen a he other than that one guy that plays on Netflix, and
Well,
I think
I
he's
see a guy on TikTok. He drives a like Uber or what's the one in like down in Texas? It's not Uber. Well, they're all kind of the same. Lyft. And he is I forget what it is, but it's like psychic cab or something like that. People get in, and he's like, "Do you believe in psychics?"
I think I've seen that too.
Yeah.
I don't think I've ever seen that.
And it's just he takes video, he does TikToks, or I think he's got a YouTube channel now, or has one,
No.
not now, but
That's why I haven't seen it. I don't watch TikTok.
yeah. And it's just like all from his phone, and he just videotapes. They get in the back, and he kind of talks to them, and then
Is
asks
this some guy who does the cash cab?
No, the cash cab's good, but it's kind of the same concept.
Same concept.
You guys have way too
You
much
get
time
in,
on
and he's
your
like,
hand.
"Hey,
The
Do
Cash
you
Cab is a
believe-
TV show from a long, long time
long
ago.
time ago, yeah, a long time ago. It's a trivia show."
Yeah.
And
You
if
got in
get
and
all-
you had to like
you
answer
get the answers-
questions.
Yeah, if you get the answers wrong, you get kicked out of the cab. Three
Oh, I
strikes
have
and you're
seen
out.
that one. Yes. But it's not psychic. It's
No,
I was just making a joke, Mom.
okay. You know
Anyway,
me. I
there are,
don't.
there
It just
are a
goes-
lot of male psychics too.
yes,
Never seen them. Never heard of them. I see more women. And you go anywhere
Please.
in any major city, and it's all women.
D, you went to
Yeah.
a psychic one time.
What?
You went to a psychic one time.
In New York City.
No.
Yeah, we went to one in New
And
York.
what did they tell you?
I don't know. I wouldn't go. Or like I said, they asked me questions and I didn't answer, so she had no information for me. I
I
said,
went
"You're
to a
supposed to be."
psychic.
I said, "You're supposed to be telling me what's going on.
Yeah,
What's
I
going to
went
happen
to
in my life?
I
I
went-
want you to tell me."
Yeah, I went
And
to
she
a
did.
psychic while I was in college because they had a psychic fair on
Yeah.
campus, and the psychic told me I needed to get a dog. Guess what? I got a dog.
Mhm.
Okay, you tell any college girl they need a dog.
Yes.
You said that back then too.
When you brought Brazus home, yes.
I
But-
didn't say I believed her, but it was confirmation that I was on the right track. Okay.
Yeah. But D, we went to a psychic fair and you went to
Maybe it was in Chicago.
it was in
I don't
Flint.
know.
Flint.
Where?
Michigan. Flint,
It was where?
Michigan.
Oh, Flint. Yeah. I don't know. I can't remember what happened yesterday.
I remember her telling me that we would have another daughter, and I'm like, we're not having no more kids. This was before you, Cass.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
I do remember that.
But that's the thing, is that she put it in your head and you're like, no, I don't want another kid. But then you thought about it. Well, we probably could do another kid.
Somebody did say
Your dad wanted lots more kids.
I know.
I said no.
That's
It's just one of those things where, like, is it real? Like, did they actually predict it? Or did you get in that mindset?
Did they put that in, plant that into our mindset? Wouldn't it be great to have a kid? And then, of course, everybody's having kids around you, and then you hold that baby, and it's like, oh, I really do want another baby.
But that was the one that told me about the red car, and that you cannot deny that.
Or, red cars were popular, and
they're very I think it's like, I don't know if it's like more statistically known, but I know for sure police look for red cars more, and they're more likely to be in accidents.
Because they're flashy.
They're flashy, and people go faster.
Right.
I kept
they
telling
want to
her,
be
I don't know
flashy.
anybody in a red car. I don't know anybody in a red car.
I used to own a red car, and I got 2 tickets in the red car, and I have not gotten a single ticket since.
I had a burgundy car, and I got into an accident in that car.
Yeah. Red cars. Don't get a red car.
Okay. I just want to say, folks that listen to us every week, I'm sorry for this show.
I cut most of this rambling stuff out, so usually I don't get a lot of this.
It has derailed pretty quickly several times.
It was derailed from the start.
That's the thing, is that when we have short stories, we're like, oh, we're going to do a short story, concise it, half hour, it's fine. That's when we ramble a lot. When we actually cover, Mom, we didn't talk about anything other than Mom's story.
I know, and I kept rambling on.
And that's because the story was so long.
Right, because my story was so long, and I kept looking at my sheets, and so your dad called me into the bedroom and said, "This is what you need. See all those papers? You don't need all those papers. Put it on."
And he forgot his notes.
And I showed her my notes from tonight, and now they're gone.
And he lost
behind
his notes.
Mom saw them and said, "See, I'm going to show him." And she tossed them in the trash.
Husbands and how they came.
Yeah, I deleted it as when he was sleeping.
See how you like it when you don't have the notes.
I jinxed this whole thing by him just showing it to me. It just disappears.
Okay, Dad, do you keep your notes? Do you keep your notes in like a physical paper copy, or are they on your computer?
Just on his computer.
Oh, so Mom touched your computer then?
Yeah.
No, I didn't. I don't
have to open up my computer.
That you know.
Dad puts the notes to his stories in Mom's daycare Excel sheets so that she can't find them.
Right. He hides them somewhere. Yeah, I'm illiterate, and I will be the first one to say I am illiterate with any computer. When somebody's trying to get me to say something, I said, I don't know anything about it. Just walk me through it.
You will not be the first person to say that.
I know. And I'm not going to be the last, because there'll be many people that say, I do not know how to work a computer.
Okay. Does anybody
Or
have anything
the phone?
Or her career, or her life or death?
What? Oh, she died too young.
She definitely died too young. She had a lot more to give.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, yes, she did. What?
Listen. Oh,
Squirrel. Well, I scrolled. I was wiping off my computer, and it wiped everything out. I couldn't see you guys anymore.
Wait, you touched it.
I touched it. Yes. I do that
Literally talking
often.
about how you can't handle technology and then you just touch it.
I know. I was wiping something off of my mouse and I hit it too hard and it just wiped you guys all to white. And then I thought, oh goodness, how am I going to get you back? And I did.
Okay, guys, we're going to wrap this show up.
It was magic.
I definitely need a rest after this show.
Oh.
Yep.
Okay.
You need a rest after every week of us three girls.
Yes, I do.
Because girls stick together.
We're angelic.
Mhm.
Yes. We
Okay,
raise.
guys. And if anybody, unless you guys got something to say, like, share, like, and subscribe.
Like, share, subscribe. Hit that like button and subscribe. If you want to write to us at familyschoolofthought@gmail.com.
Right?
Yes, yeah,
We love to hear from people.
Okay, bye, guys. Everybody have a great week. We'll see you next week.
Bye.
Bye.
Peace, baby.